Every single morning, millions of older adults unknowingly step into the most dangerous part of their day. And the surprising part is that it has nothing to do with extreme activities or risky behavior. It comes from simple, ordinary habits that feel completely harmless. Habits that have been repeated for years without a second thought. But once you cross the age of 60, your body no longer responds the same way it used to. Your brain becomes more sensitive, your blood vessels lose flexibility, and your entire cardiovascular system enters a fragile state, especially during the first hour after waking up. This period right after you open your eyes is not just another part of the day. It is a critical transition window where your body is adjusting from rest to activity. During sleep, your system slows down, blood pressure drops, heart rate stabilizes, and your body enters a state of repair. But the moment you wake up, everything begins to shift rapidly. Your blood pressure rises sharply, stress hormones like cortisol surge, and your brain demands more oxygen to become alert. At the same time, your blood is thicker because you've gone several hours without drinking water, and your blood vessels are slightly constricted after being inactive all night. This combination creates what researchers now call a high-risk window. It is a short period, usually within the first 60 to 90 minutes after waking, where your body is more vulnerable than at any other time of the day. And what makes this even more dangerous is that certain common morning habits can push this already sensitive system beyond its safe limit. Not over months or years, but within minutes. Recent observations from multiple research groups have shown that when older adults perform specific routines during this window, there are measurable changes inside the brain. Blood flow can become unstable, vessels can tighten unexpectedly, and the risk of clot formation increases significantly. What looks calm on the outside can actually be a storm inside the body. One specialist described it in a simple but powerful way, saying it is like adding pressure to a system that is already close to its breaking point. The most concerning part is that these habits are extremely common. Many people follow them with the intention of staying active, healthy, or productive. They believe they're doing the right thing. But in reality, they may be creating the exact conditions that increase their risk of stroke. What shocked researchers even more is that one particular habit stood out above all others. The results were so consistent that the data had to be reviewed multiple times. Each time, the same pattern appeared. A rapid increase in stress markers, a sudden imbalance in blood flow, and a noticeable strain on the brain's delicate vessels, all triggered within moments of performing this single action. In this video, we're going to walk through 6 common morning habits that could dramatically increase stroke risk after the age of 60. They are ranked from the least dangerous to the most dangerous, and each one may already be part of your daily routine without you even realizing it. As you listen, you may recognize some of your own habits, and that awareness alone can be life-changing. Before we begin, take a moment to think about your own routine. What is the first thing you do when you wake up? How quickly do you get out of bed? Do you reach for coffee right away? These small details matter more than most people realize. The first habit on our list might seem harmless, but it quietly puts pressure on your system in a way that builds over time. Starting your day with processed breakfast foods is far more impactful than it appears. Most people assume that a quick and convenient breakfast is simply a matter of saving time. But in the morning, your body is not in a state where it can easily handle sudden spikes in sodium and sugar. Your blood pressure is already elevated due to the natural morning surge, and your blood vessels are less flexible after hours of rest. When you introduce highly processed foods into this environment, something important happens. Sodium levels rise quickly, which can push your blood pressure even higher. At the same time, refined sugars can cause rapid changes in blood glucose levels, leading to an inflammatory response in the body. This combination places additional stress on your cardiovascular system at a time when it is already working harder than usual. Over time, repeated exposure to this pattern can weaken the stability of your blood vessels and increase the likelihood of clot formation. The issue is not just what you eat, but when you eat it. The morning is a sensitive period, and your body responds differently compared to later in the day. A simple shift toward more natural foods can make a noticeable difference. Whole ingredients that digest slowly and provide steady energy help maintain balance in your system. Even small adjustments in your breakfast choices can reduce unnecessary strain and support better circulation. The next habit is something that millions of people rely on every day, often without considering how it affects their body during this critical window. Drinking coffee on an empty stomach may feel like the fastest way to wake up, but it can place a sudden and intense demand on your system. Without any food to slow its absorption, caffeine enters your bloodstream rapidly. Within a short period, it can increase your heart rate and raise your blood pressure. This effect might seem mild for younger individuals, but after 60, the body reacts more strongly. Your blood vessels may constrict more easily, and your system may struggle to regulate these changes smoothly. At the same time, your body is still slightly dehydrated from a night, which can make the effects of caffeine even more pronounced. When all of these factors combine, the result is a temporary imbalance that increases stress on your brain and cardiovascular system. It does not mean you need to give up coffee entirely. Instead, the timing and preparation make a significant difference. Drinking water first helps rehydrate your body and supports healthy blood flow. Eating something light before coffee slows the absorption of caffeine and reduces its intensity. These small steps can turn a potentially harmful habit into a much safer routine. As we continue, the next habit may be even more surprising because it is often considered part of a healthy lifestyle. Another habit that many people consider refreshing and even beneficial can actually place unexpected stress on the body when done too soon after waking. Taking a hot shower immediately after getting out of bed feels like a natural way to wake up, but the timing of this habit can make a significant difference, especially after the age of 60. When your body transitions from lying down to standing up, it is already adjusting to the effects of gravity. Blood begins to shift toward the lower part of your body, and your cardiovascular system works to maintain steady flow to your brain. This adjustment happens automatically, but it is not instant, and with age, the response becomes slower and less efficient. Now, when you step directly into hot water, another rapid change occurs. Heat causes your blood vessels to expand, which can lead to a sudden drop in blood pressure. This combination of standing up and exposure to high temperature creates a situation where your system is trying to handle two major adjustments at the same time. For a younger body, this may not be a problem, but for older adults, it can lead to temporary instability in blood flow. During these moments, the brain may receive less oxygen than it needs. Even short periods of reduced circulation can have a cumulative effect over time, especially when repeated daily. Some people may notice slight dizziness or a brief feeling of lightheadedness, but often these signals are ignored or dismissed as normal. A more balanced approach can make this routine much safer. Giving your body some time to fully wake up before stepping into the shower allows your system to stabilize. Starting with warm water instead of very hot water also reduces the sudden impact on your blood vessels. These simple adjustments help your body adapt more gradually, lowering the risk without taking away the comfort of your routine. As we move forward, the next habit is one that many people proudly follow as part of staying active and healthy, but the timing again plays a critical role. Engaging in intense physical activity too soon after waking can place an unexpected burden on your system. Exercise is one of the best things you can do for your long-term health, but how and when you do it matters just as much as the activity itself. In the early morning, your body is still in a transitional state. Your muscles are stiff, your joints have limited mobility, and your blood circulation is not yet fully optimized. Jumping directly into high-intensity exercise forces your body to respond quickly under conditions that are not ideal. Your heart rate increases rapidly, your blood pressure rises, and your muscles demand more oxygen. At the same time, your brain is still adjusting from a resting state. This sudden demand can create a temporary imbalance in how blood is distributed throughout your body. In some cases, blood flow may be directed more toward the muscles and less toward the brain during the initial phase of intense activity. While this shift is usually short-lived, it can still place stress on a system that is already sensitive. Over time, repeated exposure to this pattern can increase the likelihood of complications. A more effective strategy is to ease into movement. Starting with gentle activity, such as walking or stretching, allows your body to gradually increase circulation. This gives your heart and blood vessels time to adapt, reducing the strain associated with sudden exertion. Once your body is fully awake and properly warmed up, more intense exercise can be introduced safely. The goal is not to avoid activity, but to align it with your body's natural rhythm rather than working against it. Now, when we come to the habit that stands out as the most impactful, the one that happens so quickly and automatically that most people never question it. Getting up too quickly from bed may seem insignificant, but it has one of the most immediate effects on blood flow to the brain. After several hours of lying down, your body becomes accustomed to a horizontal position. Blood is evenly distributed, and your cardiovascular system operates with minimal resistance. The moment you suddenly sit up or stand, gravity pulls blood downward toward your legs. Your body must react instantly to maintain circulation to your brain. This requires your heart to pump harder and your blood vessels to adjust quickly. However, as we age, this response becomes less efficient. The sensors that regulate blood pressure and circulation do not react as quickly as they once did. This delay can result in a temporary drop in blood pressure, reducing the amount of blood reaching the brain. Even a brief reduction in blood flow can create symptoms such as dizziness, blurred vision, or a feeling of imbalance. While these sensations may pass quickly, they are important signals that your body is struggling to adapt to the sudden change. Repeated exposure to these moments can have a cumulative effect. Small, unnoticed disruptions in blood flow may contribute to long-term changes in brain health. In some cases, they can increase the likelihood of more serious events developing over time. The good news is that this habit is one of the easiest to fix. Slowing down the process of getting out of bed allows your body to adjust in stages. Taking a few seconds to sit up, pause, and then stand gradually give your system the time it needs to stabilize. Simple actions, such as placing your feet on the ground and waiting briefly before standing fully, can significantly reduce the strain on your cardiovascular system. These small changes may seem minor, but they can have a powerful impact when practiced consistently. When you step back and look at all of these habits together, a clear pattern begins to emerge. The issue is not necessarily the habits themselves, but the timing and intensity with which they are performed. The early morning is a sensitive period where your body requires a more gradual transition from rest to activity. Rushing this process, whether through sudden movements, intense stimulation, or rapid changes in temperature, creates unnecessary stress on your system. Over time, this stress can build and increase the risk of complications, particularly in individuals over the age of 60. On the other hand, a slower and more mindful approach to your morning routine can support better circulation, more stable blood pressure, and improved overall balance within your body. It is not about completely changing your lifestyle, but about making small adjustments that align with how your body naturally functions. Even something as simple as drinking water first, moving gradually, or giving yourself a few extra minutes before starting your routine can make a meaningful difference. These changes do not require special equipment or complicated planning. They simply require awareness and consistency. Many people believe that major health improvements come from big, dramatic changes, but in reality, it is often the small, repeated actions that have the greatest impact over time. Your morning routine is one of the most powerful opportunities you have to influence your health every single day. By understanding how your body responds during this critical window, you can make choices that support your brain and protect your long-term well-being. Each morning becomes a chance to reduce risk rather than unknowingly increase it. If there is one takeaway from everything you have heard, it is this: slow down your mornings. Give your body the time it needs to adjust, and be mindful of how your habits interact with this sensitive period. Because the difference between a risky routine and a safe one is often just a matter of timing and awareness. If you found this helpful, consider sharing it with someone who might benefit from it. Sometimes a single piece of information can prevent a lifetime of complications. And remember, your health is shaped not just by what you do, but by how and when you do it.